Hey, all Kate here from Emerald Minecart. Welcome back to our story time in FNAF. I don't know what to say. But yeah, recently, FNAF Secret of the Mimic came out, which I'm still playing, and if you want to see my playthrough of it, go ahead. I actually recently uploaded another video of it, so, yeah. But yeah, FNAF Secret of the Mimic came out, and while playing it, I thought, maybe I should do another storytime video of talking about like my experiences with FNAF in my life. Because, obviously FNAF has had a impact on my life. You could probably take one look at me and tell that, yes, FNAF has impacted this person's life like a lot. Like, hell, my character is inspired by Funtime Foxy. FNAF is one of my favorite horror series. And while yes, I do agree with some of the people who say, "Oh, FNAF has leaned more to being for kids." Which here's the thing: has Security Breach kind of shown that? Yeah, I won't lie. It does sometimes feel like the target audience is being pushed to a bit of a younger demographic. But that will still not change the fact that I love this series. And also, even then, it's not like it's completely sanitized for children. Like, there's still the whole child murder stuff, and there's the whole, like, animatronics killing people. Like, there's still that stuff in it, so... Yeah, and honestly, I've always saw FNAF as, like, a gateway series for younger people who want to get into horror. Because obviously, you're not going to show a young kid Saw or Friday the 13th or any of the other popular horror movies. No. You have to start off with something that won't completely traumatize them. Obviously, some examples being Goosebumps or Caroline. And FNAF. FNAF is a great way for younger people to get into horror because it's not like it's not too dark, but it's not completely sweet queen, child friendly, yeah. Like it's not like that. It's in the middle ground where it's like, hey, if you're a kid, you can get into this. And I got into it when I was a kid, and how did I discover FNAF in the first place? Well, it was because of my favorite childhood YouTuber and my childhood hero, and honestly, the main reason I'm even doing YouTube, Dan TDM. One day, I was just in my room on my iPad, watching the good old UbiTubi, and I was just watching some Dan TDM. And eventually, I came across this one video where he was playing the sequel to FNAF, FNAF 2, not knowing that FNAF 2 would be a prequel to the first game, which... I don't know. But yeah, so when I clicked on the video, I watched it for a bit, and then I clicked off it because I was getting a tad bit bored. Not because of a low attention span. No. Span. Yeah, not spam. Not because of a low attention span. No. I was just kind of bored. It was like, why is nothing happening here? But little did I know that I would come across it again, and again, and again, and again, and I would come across a lot of it. So I would officially join the fan base during the FNAF 3 days. Yeah, I didn't really have social media, so I didn't really go on Twitter, or Instagram, or Tumblr, or any other socials that talked about FNAF, and I didn't really get to interact with the community. That wasn't until, like, somewhere around 2017. Yeah, it was somewhere around 2017 when I was finally actually able to interact with the Five Nights at Freddy's community. And throughout my years of experiencing FNAF content and stuff like that, I have seen things that, I'm going to be perfectly honest, I probably should have not seen, but I did anyways. Now, before I continue on, I want to clarify something. My parents do not care for FNAF. They just do not like it, they don't care for it, and my mom in particular just despises it. But despite that, thankfully she doesn't go out of her way to get rid of any of the FNAF stuff that I have in my room. Because honestly, if she did, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it. But yeah, my parents, especially my mom, do not like FNAF. Now, obviously, there's the obvious reason because of, like, the lore being dark, and, like, oh, there are animatronics going around killing people, and, oh, there's child murders. Like, obviously, yeah, obviously that would be something that would turn some people off from FNAF. But, yeah, and also the fact that my parents, and even my dad told me this, that is, like, it's stupid. It's like, I mean, yeah, it is, especially some of the shit that actually happens in the lore of the games. But hey, I like it. I enjoy it. So I'm going to talk about some of the FNAF content, specifically the fan content that I happened to come across YouTube in my early days of being in the FNAF fan base, or discovering FNAF stuff on YouTube. Obviously, like, I discovered YouTubers like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye through FNAF, and obviously I saw a lot of FNAF Minecraft stuff, which I will talk about later, but there were also some FNAF animations I watched, and there were some FNAF animations I watched that, now looking back, I probably should have not watched. An example of that being, okay, I need to talk about this, but so there is a artist named Disembowel, and they are responsible for making these FNAF models. Now, these are a tad bit infamous because, look at them. You could probably understand why most of the fan base does not take too kindly to these models at all. So yeah, I saw a few animations using these models, and okay, I'm not gonna say it had a effect on my taste in fictional characters, but it definitely had a effect on me. It definitely had a effect on my young mind, because obviously it's a robot with booba. So, obviously, I would look at this and be like, ooh! Because, I was like, whoa, boobies! And, yeah, this... The more I think about it, I feel like this is definitely one of the reasons I became a furry. But hey, that's for another story time. But yeah, so I saw some animations with those models in it, and if you're curious, yes, I did hear about Five Nights in Anime, a series that is also not seen in a good light by most of the fan base. You could probably understand why. But yeah, another animation that I saw is, okay, this is actually a classic one, and I feel like most FNAF fans know this one. But this is a animation adaptation of Purple Guy's Death. One of the popular animations about it was made by the artist MobOx87, or Purple Guy, or, like, they go by different names, but they're the most well-known one for making an animation adaptation of Purple Guy's Death. Now, here's the thing. In the original game, FNAF 3, that actually depicts his death, it's nothing too graphic. It's all depicted in a Atari-style game, or Atari-style graphics, and it's not too violent because of that. But the animations people made, holy crap, especially the audio that was recorded. Like, I don't know who recorded the original audio, but man, it is graphic. Even listening to it today, it's graphic. And hell, like, the Spring-Look scene shown in the first FNAF movie, not even that was as graphic as some of the animations that depicted William's death. Like, some of the animations depicting William's death, like, has him, like, coughing out blood and shit, and, like, it's just, like, the animations make it, like, extremely violent, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is awesome! But, yeah, obviously that is another... okay, this, I don't know if I probably want to talk about, but this is definitely one of those things that would desensitize me to violence in fictional media like animation. So, yeah. So yeah, it's a really classic animation. It's a real shame that Mobbox would go on to Yeah, you know, second thought, I don't even think I want to touch that can of worms. So, moving on. Another thing that I watched commonly were FNAF SFMs. Now, here's the thing. At the time, there weren't really a lot of there weren't really any people who made models for human characters. So to fix that problem, people used to use models of characters from other properties. Half-Life, Left 4 Dead, and most importantly, Team Fortress 2. In fact, the FNAF SFMs that used Team Fortress 2 characters was actually what introduced me to Team Fortress 2. Yep, that's right. If I never discovered FNAF, I probably would have never heard about Team Fortress 2. And some of the SFMs I watched were like Pyro, was like Pyro visits the pizzeria, or Soldier, or like okay, I'm not getting the names completely right, but like Pyro the Night Guard or Soldier the Night Guard, and then there were just like the basic like FNAF SFMs that just use like the TF2 mercs as like the Night Guards. And there was one SFM series I watched a lot, which was by the YouTuber Zakja. I'm going to put him on screen, but yeah. He's actually still working on his SFM series, which is really impressive. I'm actually impressed that even today he's still making these videos. It's just really impressive. And again, they're pretty good. I quite like them. I quite like the story that has like that the story that he's created. I absolutely love it. But yeah. I also watch a lot of FNAF World SFMs and stuff like that. And actually, oh god, a FNAF World video that I watched by the YouTuber Illumix was FNAF World MLG. I'm sure me saying the word MLG just caused several people to immediately jolt up and have flashbacks, which, you know, I don't blame you, I too had that. But yeah. Yeah, obviously watch a lot of FNAF content. I also discovered, like, people like Razbowski and Dawko and well, yeah, Epic Ryan tries to get a Baz, I think. Yeah. I would obviously discover like all the fan songs, like by the Living Tombstone and DA Games, who is again, that's another can of worms I don't want to touch. But yeah, FNAF World. Or not FNAF World. Yeah, the FNAF fan music were freaking great. They were an absolute banger, and I loved them. And there's a reason why they're so iconic. There is a reason why Living Tombstone's first FNAF song appeared at the end of the credits of the FNAF movie. It's just that iconic. It's official. It's basically FNAF, like the FNAF theme song. When you think of Five Nights at Freddy's, you think of the Living Tombstone song. And also, it's been so long, which I really do hope that It's Been So Long appears in the credits of the FNAF 2 movie. Because if it doesn't, FNAF fans rise up, we will riot. But yeah. Anyways, now I'm going to talk about a type of FNAF content that I brought up earlier, which was Minecraft FNAF content. Now, obviously, at the time, and still to this day, I like Minecraft, and I also like FNAF. Put them together, you have Minecraft FNAF. Basically, a Autismo's wet dream. Okay, maybe not like that, but basically, combine FNAF and Minecraft, you're making all the people down with autism very, very happy. I should know, because I'm one of them. So, yeah, hold on, let me do a quick swig. Anyways, yeah, FNAF Minecraft. This would mostly consist of animations and roleplays. Animations by Enchanted Mob. Yes, that Enchanted Mob. Zamnations. Who else? Okay, Enchanted Mob, Zamnations. Other people. Yeah. There were a lot of Minecraft FNAF animations. And it was like, oh, FNAF in Minecraft. Or one of them was like, Steve is teleported to FNAF 1 and he fights the animatronics. And obviously, some of the other FNAF animations that I watched were like this FNAF series that was made by the YouTuber Yo Mama, which is another classic YouTuber that I might make a video about one day. I don't know, but he's quite iconic. He made a FNAF series that I loved it. And obviously, Yo Mom, the channel Yo Mama made content that wasn't aimed for the people my age at the time, but I watched it anyways. But yeah. Then for the role plays, oh my gosh, I love the Minecraft FNAF role plays. I adore them. They are peak fan media. The FNAF World series made by the YouTuber Mango Tango, that series was absolutely peak. I loved it. Hell, he even had one episode where PewDiePie himself showed up in one of the episodes. And I remember, like, in the early stages of the series, for like, I think it was like the third or fourth episode before that came out, like Mango Tango was asking, "Oh hey, I'm going to have two YouTubers in the next episode. Who should they be?" And I remember commenting on my previous or like on my old account saying, "Do Dante Jam and Stampy," because I loved both of them and I watched both of them religiously back then. I still watch him here and there, but mostly Dante Jam. Stampy doesn't really upload that much. But yeah. Sadly that never happened. But hey, the story was good, and it would eventually get some sequels, and I slowly fell out of those, and Mango Tango would eventually move on from his channel, and I heard that he's on like apparently his current channel that he runs is like related to Google Maps and facts about locations. And that's all the basic information about his new channel that I really know about. But yeah, would it be nice to see Mango Tango return? Yes, it would. I would love that. And then another YouTuber who actually collaborated with Mango Tango was Zombie SMT. Obviously, like Zombie SMT is or was I don't know if they still upload, but yeah, they did a lot of these Minecraft FNAF role plays, and even did Minecraft Five Nights at Anime role plays, which again you could understand why that would rub people the wrong way. And I specifically remember one of the episodes for some reason had anime Kim Jong Un. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this shit up. It was one of the characters was legit an anime girl version of the Korean leader Kim Jong Un. I hope I pronounced that name correctly, so he doesn't nuke my house. But yeah, it was so bizarre. It was like, wait, why is there an anime version of this one political leader who's real? It was so, I was so confused. Oh my gosh. But yeah. Also, there was also a trend at the time was basically like, this wasn't just for FNAF. This was for like a bunch of other properties and stuff. But in Minecraft, people would use these mods and make these videos that are like, oh, summoning blank character here. And I mostly watched the FNAF ones, and they were fun. And I don't know why, but for some reason, Zombie SMT's versions of like when Zombie SMT made the videos of this trend, for some weird reason, Molly or Wall or hold on, let me look up that guy's name. Hold on, hold on. Hold on. Quick check. Um, was Molly or what? My okay, the Disney movie Moana, the character that's played by Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Wally or Molly, however how you say his name. Yeah, he shows up in the videos for some reason. I don't know why, but it's just he just appears for some reason. There was also Moosecraft, I think. Yeah, it was a YouTuber Moosecraft or something like that. It was basically like this guy who had a Minecraft skin of like a guy in like a moose onesie. He made this one FNAF World series that I absolutely loved, and like it also got a sequel series that I didn't really watch. I don't know. I think it ended early. I honestly do not know. But yeah, it was There was also like this guy named Shark Boy Ryan or something. I honestly don't know. Look, it's been a while since I've watched some of these creators, but yeah. He also did this FNAF series with another creator, and it was the series part one of the episodes with the creator in it. He gets kidnapped by Chipper and gets turned into like a human animatronic hybrid. And you would say, "Oh, that sounds cool. Where does the series go?" That's the thing. It doesn't. It just ends. And they never touch upon that for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard I try. But yeah, just that's something I don't like. Like I think about some of like the old stuff that I used to watch, and I just think, man, I wish that one series didn't end abruptly or something like that. And also another thing that was trending at the time, where it was basically like these Minecraft videos where like someone would report or would record Minecraft. Okay, lose my train of thought here, but someone would record Minecraft gameplay, and then they would record themselves in front of a green screen to make it look like they themselves were actually in Minecraft. There was this one YouTube channel that made a lot of content like this, and it was really well made, especially with the props. They're so cool. But yeah, of course, FNAF got into the trend, and it was like, oh, I became insert FNAF character here in real life. It was mostly Mango Tango who did these with his friend at the time, Zombie SMT. I don't know if they're still friends to this day. Who knows? But yeah, those were quite entertaining. And when I saw them, I was like, "Oh, I want to do that too." Obviously, I was never able to because I never had the equipment. Not saying I didn't try, but you know, I just didn't have equipment, sadly. But yeah. And also there were also like mini games. One of them was like hide and seek. I remember when Sky does Minecraft did these like Minecraft FNAF hide and seek stuff. It's just oh my god. But yeah, I had a lot of fun watching those videos. They're really funny. Really wish Sky does Minecraft didn't turn out to be a poor person. So yeah. So yeah. Now, moving on to another thing. FNAF fan art. I made a lot of FNAF fan art that is sadly definitely lost to time at this point. But I probably have some lying around. I don't know. But yeah, I made a lot of FNAF fan art, and I remember this was when like FNAF was still relevant. I made a bunch. Okay, I basically made a bunch of these Minecraft FNAF versions of these characters I made for me and my friends. Please note that this was at the time before I knew what an OC was. So I made all these characters for me and my friends, and I made animatronic or Minecraft animatronic versions of them. Specifically, FNAF World versions. And I made all of this like fan art, like different variations, like oh, you have classic, toy, wizard, phantom, nightmare, Jacko. Hell, I even dipped into fan-made territory in the form of like there being draw kill versions. Which, if you might be thinking, Kate, what's draw kill? Well, it's basically like it's basically like these FNAF models that look a tad bit edgy and stuff like that. If you want me to make a video about it, I will. I don't mind doing a video about it because they are quite nostalgic. And like I taped all of these pictures to one of my walls in my room, and I was really proud of it. Then one day my mom went into my room, tore them down, crumbled them up, and threw them away in the trash. And she got mad at me for doing it. Yeah, she still hasn't said sorry for doing that. Which, no, I don't let this affect me to this day, but, you know, I think about that sometimes, and I just think, I really wish she said sorry. But, you know, she's never gonna say that, because, like I mentioned, she doesn't like FNAF, she despises it. Thankfully, not enough to want to come into my room and throw any FNAF stuff I have away. Thankfully. But yeah. So yeah, after that, I would still continue to make FNAF art, and hell, I still make FNAF fan art to this day. And obviously, I have my OC, my channel mascot, the gal, the fox gal that represents me and only me. But yeah. So yeah, over the years, I would make more art. I would see more FNAF content. Would see some shit that I probably should have not seen. And in fact, I would also make some more friends. And for that, FNAF would be the reason why I have a decent amount of friends. And hell, even more important, FNAF is actually the reason I met my boyfriend. It was this. I okay. I have to touch upon something that, like, it was this era in my life that I don't really like to think about, but this this took place in the era where I was on the social media platform Amino. Now, if you don't know what Amino is, it's essentially like this big social media where you can like join different fandoms and communities and like talk with other people. Sadly, Amino has a bit of a predator problem, and also the people who moderate it aren't the greatest at their jobs. But yeah, it has a bit of a predator problem. But thankfully, I was able to make some legit friends. Some legit friends I actually still talk to this day. And also, it was the place where I met my boyfriend. Now, thankfully, he is not an old man. We're like me and my boyfriend. We have a 1 year age gap, so he's a year younger than me. And yeah, I remember meeting him, and there was this other guy that me and him talked to here and there. But yeah, eventually we moved to DeviantArt, and we would like talk more. And eventually, I would leave Amino because it was like and again, it's just something I don't really want to talk about because I don't have all of the greatest or not greatest yeah, I don't really have all of the best memories at Amino, but I was glad that I was able to meet some of my closest friends and even my boyfriend there. But yeah, after eventually leaving there, me and my boyfriend would still talk, and we still talk to this day. We're still in love, and actually, in fact, we recently exchanged phone numbers because recently DeviantArt's message system has been acting weird. So, yeah. And then also he got a Discord, so we can both talk there now, and we've been doing that ever since because, again, we both of us love each other, and honestly, I'm going to be perfectly honest, but my boyfriend has gotten me through some hard times. If I want to be perfectly honest, if I never met James, I don't think there would definitely be some certain moments where I probably would have not made it out alive. So, James, if you're watching this video, I just want to say that thank you. I'm so glad we met that day years ago, and honestly, ever since then, I've never looked back. You mean so much to me. I'm so happy that we got to meet, and I'm just so glad that we've been together for so long. So, yeah. Sorry for getting a bit emotional there. It's just FNAF is like a big part of my life. Like obviously, like I mentioned, I discovered different content creators, different type of content, made some friends, made a boyfriend. But yeah. Uh so yeah, now in 2025, Secret of the Mimic came out yesterday on a Friday the 13th, which, if I had $1 every time Pizza FNAF Media came out on Friday the 13th, I would have like $2. And soon, Springtrap is coming to Dead by Daylight, which makes me very, very happy. But yeah. So honestly, I'm quite excited to see what's next for FNAF. And yes, I do know Secret of the Mimic just came out yesterday, but hey, I'm excited to see what the future holds. Quite excited, I can't wait, and yeah, obviously I'll be playing more of Secret of the Mimic, obviously. But yeah, so that was it for this story time. Make sure you all subscribe, like for more, and I'll see you all later. Peace out, home guards, and goodbye!
traveling through the universe, the galaxy, in a distant world. We're here today. Look to the stars and lead the way.